Hey folks, it's me, Peter Van Batavia, and I've got Jac Starling, a local artist in the studio.
Yes, sir. I have returned.
Yes, he's returned to KMSC. We're very excited to have him. He's released his newest EP, Away From Home EP Part 2, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And we've got it lined up. We're going to go through this album and have a couple of interview questions, a little bit off the wall. Some, basic artist questions just to get started. But, Jac, what should people get to know about you before we get into this album?
All right, so I make alternative emo rap with a trap feel singer-songwriter music, a.k.a. I take sounds and I make them into, in my opinion, better sounds. That's all you need to know about me. That's it.
Nice. Yeah, you folks, right before this, we just played Blur by Jac Starling, and before that, Charizard.
Yes.
Which is pretty good. I love both those tunes.
Me too, so much.
But, we might as well just get started with the song because I got all these questions lined up for you right after.
All right.
The first one, we open the album with Moonstone. Anything you'd like folks to know before we go into the song?
Well, first, I do want to say that this is probably one of my favorite songs that I've dropped. It's definitely one of my favorite songs on the EP as well, of course. And I showed a bunch of people who, I make music with the song before I dropped it, and everyone just fell in love with it before it even released. So it gaslit me, and I got super excited when I dropped it. And so far, I think it's been doing a really great job. I couldn't be more happy with how people have received it. I feel like my core fan base really, really likes this song. So that makes me feel all warm inside, And also, literally just this weekend, I'm announcing it right here, but we drop in a music video, boys. We drop in a new music video for Moonstone. We just finished shooting for it this weekend, so I'm pretty hyped about it. And I guess I could talk a little bit about the song, if I could remember what it's about, because I actually made this song around a year ago. I have this issue where I make a song, and then I keep it for a year, and then I'll finally decide, okay, yeah, I'll drop it. So basically the song is it's comparing, well, the song is about avoiding getting into a toxic relationship. It's comparing the moon to someone you love, but you can't be with them because it'll be bad for both of you. So in the chorus of the song, it's man on the moon, that is my name. I'll be gone soon. I don't really even care no more. I just want to look down at the floor. So basically it's going outside. There's this bright light in the sky, like the moon, but that it'll be bad for you to look at it. So you just stare at the floor instead. So that's the premise of the song.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, we're going to get into it here. Here's Moonstone by Jac Starling, folks, from his new EP, Away From Home, Part 2.
Skirt.
And we're back. That was just Moonstone by Jac Starling from his EP, Away From Home, Part 2. We're excited to have him in the studio interviewing him, going through this album. It's super cool.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, no problem. So you elaborated a little bit about Moonstone before we went into the song. Do you have anything else? What was your mindset in creating the song?
Well, the mindset was just that, what I talked about before with the whole. I mean, I write music about my life, so I've felt like this. I felt like this in many different situations, but this just one situation that I felt really strongly to the point that I wanted to make a song about it. And I actually do have kind of a funny backstory to the song. So for people who know me pretty well, I am going to college for music production. So this song actually started out as a project that I had to make for school. And I was just going to do this simple guitar project and everything. So I sat down with my guitar and I just started playing around with it and everything. And I just kept adding more and more and more to it, and it just kind of turned into something that I feel I couldn't turn into as a project. I had to actually release it as a song. So I don't know. I feel that's just kind of a fun little backstory of I accidentally made the song.
Nice. Well, you accidentally made a good song.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So why did you open with this one specifically on the EP?
Well, going back to my friends just telling me it's such a good song, and I agreed. I really love the song, so I felt it would be a really good one to get people attracted to the EP if they heard this as the first one. Also, I feel like it just sounds like an intro song. Like it's like really bright and vibrant and has like a slow build up, but it like keeps your attention. So I feel like it sounded like the first, like it had to be like the first track if it was going to be on the EP.
That's good. That's good. So I'm gonna get in. We went before this interview. You wanted some of these off the wall questions. This
Absolutely.
is the last time I'm gonna preface them, folks. I'm just gonna go for them straight after this.
Yeah, hit me with them.
So yeah, Moonstone. What do you believe about the moon landing, Jack?
Ooh, it's totally fake. We've never been to the moon. No, yeah, it's real.
Yeah.
Stop
I'm with you
the
there, brother.
conspiracy theories, yeah.
Do you believe in any conspiracy theories?
I mean, there's a lot of conspiracy theories. I do believe that, and I feel like this has kind of been confirmed, but like I do believe that JFK wasn't just killed by one guy. Even like the guy who was blamed for it, like I almost feel like maybe he didn't do it. Maybe it was like the government. I'm gonna get killed after this. But
on college radio, yeah.
I actually in high school, like I took a video production class, and we made it was our final project. We made a 20-minute video about like the JFK conspiracy theory, and it was like us acting out how like it wasn't like it was the government. It was I still have it on my computer. Maybe I'll like drop it someday. But it's pretty bad, but it's pretty good at the same time. Like I love it. But yeah, that I think like that's like the big one. And then I don't know. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there.
There's a lot.
And like some are like obvious and some are ridiculous, you know? Like I can't think of anything else like off the top of my head I like actually believe in.
So what's one defining moment in the origin of your career as an artist?
Ooh, okay. Well, that's a tough question. I think just I haven't had like one of those like huge big moments yet, but like just the fact that like I came from a small, like when I started music, I came from a smaller town, and then I moved up here, and I just got to meet so many talented artists who are like genuine friends now, which is like so cool. Because like where I'm from, not to like bash where I'm from, because like I still rep my hometown, because like I have a lot of fans from my hometown, but like there weren't really like music people there, like anyone who's like really taking it seriously. I mean, there are like a few, but they all moved away as well, just like me. So like it's really cool being able to come up here and like meet people who are just as talented, if not more talented than me in the industry. Also, I just thought of another one that's like pretty big. I can't like talk about it much yet because it's still kind of like non-disclosure agreement right now.
Oh,
but
dang.
Over the summer, I went over to Denver to do some big music things. That's all I can talk about right now.
With a non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah,
wow.
like I signed a contract. I can't talk about it at the moment, but you know, you guys will find out eventually. I hope. We'll see.
Cool. You heard it here, folks. Jac Starling's going to be on Kanye West's newest album.
That is correct. No, actually, I am Kanye West.
Oh,
yeah.
shoot. Revelation. Nah, so what do you enjoy most about making music?
I mean, there's a lot of things, I guess. Me personally, I just have to. Like, I've always been like a big creator. Like when I was younger, I used to make like skits on YouTube. Really bad skits, by the way. And they are still up on YouTube. So if you guys want to go find them, get some blackmail on me. But I've always been just like creating stuff. And even before like the YouTube thing, like I would like write stories and like write like books and stuff like that. So I feel like I just like go through different phases of like creating stuff. And I feel like, I mean, I'm always going to keep music because like music has always been like a huge part of my life. But like I'm going to continue like experimenting with stuff. Like I've been thinking about like starting up vlogs again on YouTube. I've been really trying to like start up a fashion company. Like just like creating, like making stuff, like just I just love that side. And also being able to vent as well, like even if it's not like direct venting of like talking about your emotions and stuff, just like being able to like talk about the things that are bothering you in your life. Because like I've always been the type of person where like if I'm struggling with something, I could just put it into a song and it won't like fix it, but it'll make me feel better about it. And that's like really important for me because, you know, music industry is a tough industry to like navigate, is what I've learned in like the last year. So it's kind of important.
Nice. So here's a last question before we head into our next song.
All right.
So would you want to help settle space, the final frontier?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Like, I think about this a lot. Like, I'm a huge, like, I'm really into science. Honestly, I'm probably not smart enough because I'm really terrible at math. So, like, there would be no reason for me to, like, go to Mars. But, like, I would love to. Like, I think about that kind of stuff all the time. I'm a big, like, NASA guy. I know you guys can't, like, see in here, but like I'm wearing a NASA hat right now, so like I'm a big space guy.
Confirmed, folks. That is confirmed.
Yes. Oh, and also, I'm like a part of NASA totally. Like you can only get like NASA apparel from NASA, so I am an astronaut. But yeah, I would love to. Like I think about that all the time, and it kind of sucks because like people only live for like 100 years, give or take, and I feel like we're not going to get very far in like 100 years. But, like, I would love to be able to see, like, extraterrestrial life, you know, and, like, be able to, like, figure out how far the universe goes and, like, what black holes really do. I was really hyped when they, like, found, like, the picture of the black hole. Did you see that? Like,
yeah.
They finally found, like, one, like, actual picture of a black hole. And even though it was, like, super blurry and it was just, like, a little ring, that, like, hyped me up like crazy. I love that kind of stuff.
Nice. Well, we're going into Ponyboy next.
Yes.
We'll get some info on that after. But this one, yeah, it's pretty good. It's a collab right here, just a little bit.
Yes. It features GGXO.
Sweet. Well, enjoy this one, folks. This is Ponyboy by Jac Starling featuring GGXO off of the new EP, Away From Home Part 2. Okay, folks, we're back in the studio. It's Peter Van Batavia here interviewing Jac Starling with his new album, Away From Home EP Part 2. We're excited to have you back, and we're going through this album song by song, asking you some questions, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Excited to have you back in.
Yes, absolutely. Me too.
So Jac, how this is a collaboration song a little bit. Mm-hmm. We have a new artist, GGXO.
Yeah.
How was working with her?
It was pretty fun. It was a pretty quick collab. I remember it really vividly because the day we collabed, there was a blizzard outside, and she made me. So it was back when I was living in the dorms, and she couldn't figure out how to get inside, and she made me run around the building in a blizzard trying to find her. But no, it's fine. It was worth it because like she came in, I think she did like 3 takes, and that was that. And she killed the track. Like I love her verse so much. Like it's got like this, I don't know, like just this vibe that I can't like describe.
Did she write her own material then?
Yeah, she did. I never write another rapper's material, and I don't expect anyone to do the same for me.
Yeah. Hey, there we go. Creative freedom. So, Ponyboy, obviously, part of it, Stay Golden Ponyboy, part of the chorus there, but and that's from The Outsiders. So, was this song at all based off The Outsiders, or mostly just the quote?
I mean, yeah, it was mostly just the quote, and then so it started out just me like liking the word Ponyboy, and that actually starts out a lot of like me naming tracks. Like I think the title looks aesthetic, so that's the name of the song, and then I'll like I'll surround everything else about the song like around the title, and that's just how it goes. But like, yeah, it's kind of like that, but also the song is about like. It's about doing whatever you got to do to like live your life and just like push forward, and that's kind of similar to The Outsiders because like they were like a gang back in, was it the 60s? I think it was. I'm gonna go with the 60s. Don't hate me if I got that wrong, but yeah, they were like a gang back in the 60s, and they just had to like go through the life and like do what they had to do to like survive, and I relate to that greatly, especially in the music industry. So I made a song about it, dedicated to Ponyboy, who is the main character of The Outsiders.
Yeah, cool. So what is your favorite book then?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not much of a reader, and it's not because I think that it's not because I don't like books, because like I acknowledge like there are a lot of great books out there. I just don't like reading. But I think for like there are a few books like Fahrenheit 451, which is about the burning of books. I was forced to read it in school, but I really genuinely liked it as well. I feel like it had a really good moral moral question. And another book series, and I bet a lot of you guys know like the book series, but it's Animorphs. Have you ever heard of Animorphs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's dated, especially the covers of the books. They're
cool. They're cool.
They're cool, but they're a little rough. But I loved that series. And honestly, like, don't look at the covers and think, oh, it's just for kids. Because, like, seriously, these books are fantastic. And if you're one of the people who, like, watched the show back in the 90s, the show is really bad. But the books are fantastic. And there's like 50 of them. So, like, it's a long read, but it's so worth it. Like, it's my favorite series. And I don't even like reading, but I read all 50 of them. So, like, if that's not saying something, yeah, exactly. So I think that those are like the two standouts.
Nice. So who were your inspirations for this album?
For the song or for the
for the album, just in general? Who are, like, musical inspirations or just in life?
I think I listen to a very large amount of music, like with all kinds of genres, and I definitely hear like a lot of influences from different artists. I think for this specific EP, like thinking back to like some of the songs, Kanye West is definitely a big one. Like Kanye West, he started out as a rapper and then he just started pushing boundaries and just like making all sorts of kind of music, and even he stayed relevant too. Like he's been around since like late 90s, and he just dropped his new album Jesus is King, and like I like that album. It's fire. So like he's still staying relevant, which is crazy. So Kanye West, Bon Iver, which is like my favorite artist of all time, like makes like experimental singer-songwriter music.
We just had him on our top 30 the other week, yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely deserves it. Should be top one. But yeah, I love him. My favorite song from him is The Typical Skinny Love. It's the most popular song that he's made, but I do like he actually his album For Emma Forever Ago, that's my favorite album of all time. I love that. Another one would be Kid Cudi, another artist who's just like pushed boundaries in like hip hop and just like changed, like brought a new sound and just like changed it. Like I feel like any artist who like develops like this new crazy weird sound that has never been heard before, like those are the artists that I really cling to, because like I'm trying super hard to like make music that sounds completely different. Like I feel like Moonstone, like I know we just listened to Ponyboy, but like going back to Moonstone, like I can't really compare that song. Like I've thought about it, I can't really compare that song to like many artists. So like I really focus on trying to make like music that sounds completely different. And then of course there's like the typical rappers that I listen to, like Kendrick Lamar. He's my favorite rapper of all time. Eminem, I don't listen to him that much anymore, but like growing up, I grew up on Eminem. Like he was like big inspiration for me. Who else? There's so many, and I'm like blanking now. I love Vince Staples. I feel like he's an underrated artist, but like he's so funny, and his like his flow is so smooth. NF, big NF fan. And I'm blanking. I said this last time I was here, but Machine Gun Kelly, like despite what people think about and then like his beef with Eminem, I still love Machine Gun Kelly. So like I know I'm gonna like re-listen to this interview and we were like, I should have said all these artists, but I listened to too many people, so it's not my fault. But yeah, I think that's like a good like span of like what I listen to.
Yeah, that's all right. So what pushed you to pick those like harmonica like noises in Ponyboy this time?
So when I was making the song, I set a goal to like take like these old town rock and roll sounds and like mix it into like a trap rap beat and then rap over it. So like I used Splice. Like all you hip hop producers out there, you got to use Splice. Like there's so many like great samples that you could find. So like I looked up like old town like rock and roll kind of stuff, and I found like a bunch of stuff. Like I found like the harmonica, like that the very beginning of the song, it starts out with like that like rock and roll sound. That was just like a mixture of a bunch of different samples, and then like I messed with them a little bit, like changed like the BPM of like some, and that was all Splice. So I did that, but then I made like the main rap beat, and then I took some of like those beginning parts and then some other ones that weren't like a part of that, and I mixed it into the hip hop beat, because I just thought that would be like a cool idea. I've never like heard something like that before.
So what do you consider selling out? I did some air quotes there.
I think that's a really hard question because, like, I feel like as an artist, you should do whatever it takes to establish yourself as an artist. Unless it's illegal, then don't do it. But that's rough because, like, I feel like some people will use like the term selling out as like changing your style, like with Taylor Swift. And honestly, I hate it. Like when I was younger, I hated on it. Like Taylor Swift, she was a country artist, and now she's a pop artist. Like, what's going on? But like honestly, her music's fire. I am a Taylor Swift fan. I'm saying that right here, right now. I'm a Taylor Swift fan. I think her early stuff is great. I think her new stuff is great. So like, and I feel like she's happier making the pop music. Like you heard about like that whole entire thing with Taylor Swift, like with like the whole music rights thing. And now she like owns her music and she's still making like pop music. So like, I don't think it's selling out. I think it's just like figuring out what you want to make and like experimenting. Like I started out as like straight rap and now I'm just like doing singing stuff. Like the stuff I made, like I'm making like last week, I'm just like singing, like no auto-tune, singing. So like some people will call that selling out, other people will call it experimentation. So I think it's just, I don't really believe in the whole term of selling out, I guess. I think as like human beings in general, you should just do what makes you happy. If like it doesn't negatively affect anyone around you, and like you could kind of like look at, that's like my motto, just like do whatever makes you happy, and as long as it doesn't like screw other people over, you know.
My heart is warmed. Oh gosh, that's good. And last question before we head into another song there, a lot less deep. So do you enjoy ponies? What's your favorite animal? Yeah.
I mean, I've never ridden a pony. I've also never ridden a horse either. I don't have a problem with ponies. I guess I've never really thought about the question. I don't love them. I don't hate them. They're kind of just there, and they can do what they want to do, I guess. But like my favorite animal, I'm sure you guys are expecting me to say a starling or any kind of bird, but that is incorrect. You know, I don't really know what my favorite. I love goats. Goats are funny as hell. Like they're so funny. I don't know. I like goats. I don't know what they're called, but I know all of you have seen them on like Instagram and stuff, but it's like those animals from Australia that are like super friendly. Like you walk up to them and like you feed them like leaves and they like smile. Those are like so cute. I love those. Man, I've never really, as simple as a question as that is, I've never thought about like what my favorite animal is. I'm not gonna lie, but like I actually was a big animal guy when I was like a kid. Like I was like, before I think I said it in my song Higher Definition, like I wanted to be a marine biologist because I was like so fascinated with like underwater animals. Like I used to like study animals until like I fell into music and I stopped doing that. So blame the music that I'm not a marine biologist right now.
Well, folks, we're going to head on over to the next song on Jac Starling's album, newest album, Away From Home, EP Part 2. Here's Jack of All Trades. Enjoy this one. This is another, I mean, they're all great. So I guess if I said another great one out of all of them, yeah. But enjoy, folks. Here it is. Hey, we're back. That was just the end of Jack of All Trades, one of the new songs of Jac Starling's Away From Home EP Part 2. We're excited to have him. We're going through this album track by track, asking some good questions, asking some strange questions, asking some not bad questions, that's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. But
before anyone asks, Jack is spelled without a K. That's what that whole spiel at the end was about.
Yeah.
If you didn't know that.
Jac Starling, J-A-C, and then Starling, yeah.
Yeah. You see, I'm a rebel, so like I had to take the K out of my name because I live on the edge.
So Jack, how do you record? Like, what do you do to create your sounds? You mentioned Splice a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Splice is a great tool of just like being able to find like any sort of like sound. But like me personally, I'm trying really hard to like do live stuff too. Like I have a guitar, I have like a bunch of different kinds of like mics for like different instruments. Like especially for my next album. Yes, I am making a next album. For my next album, I'm trying to make it as live sound as possible. So like I've been recording with like trumpeters and people who play saxophone and like getting like actual sounds, so I don't like super rely on splice. But that's kind of just how like I produce, and then I like slip in the trap drums as well, which is like just samples that I've like collected over like years of like producing. But like that's how I like produce. But when it comes to like recording and stuff, I have a home studio in my apartment, which is quite literally just my bedroom. It's like a studio with a bed in the corner. So that's my room. And I just make music, I guess. Like I have like all the equipment and I just create in my bedroom.
Rad. So you mentioned in the song, part of the chorus is you had a business and you did some trade.
Mm-hmm.
So what business did you trade in that you refer to in the chorus of this last song, Jack of all trades?
Oh, you see, I sold meth. Kidding. I'm not Walter White out here. No, that might have been a little too far. But no, I don't do drugs, kids. Seriously, don't. Like, especially not meth. That'll mess you up. But I used to like, what I would do is I would like go onto eBay and like buy stuff, and then I would sell it for like $5 more, like back on eBay. So I wasn't like a physical trading thing, but it was like doing that kind of thing. But like, I don't know, that wasn't really like a big part of my life. It was just like kind of for fun. And I just like, I thought about it when I was like making this song, and I thought like I should make a song called Jack of all trades, and then I should like implement that, because like Jack of all trades is like a cliche saying, and then I could take the K away from the Jack as I did with my name and like make it the title. But like really what the song is about is like the fact that I do everything myself, like musically. Like I produce my music, I mix it, I master it, I record it, I arrange it myself. I do all of that myself. So I'm like a jack of all trades. And then I also like make the art for my covers, and I like think up ideas for music videos, et cetera, et cetera. And it's not like a bragging thing. I mean, like, I guess rap is kind of like bragging, like, because like that's just kind of like part of the rap industry. But like, I don't know, it's not like me bragging. It's just like informing, because a lot of people ask me like, who do I buy my beats from? Who mixes my music? And like me, I do that.
Nice. No, that's really cool. That's really cool. So what is your favorite business?
My favorite business?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on the product. Like, I have an iPhone, but like my favorite business definitely is an Apple, because, I mean,
I'm with you there, brother.
they took the headphone jack away from the phones. Why? To make more money. But like, why? That's like, I had to get like a converter so I could like use my aux in my car, which is like the only way I listen to music these days, because like it's the only time I have to listen to music. Why you gotta do that, Apple? But I don't know, my favorite business, I'm a big fashion guy. I said that earlier. I don't know, I guess I don't have like a specific favorite business. I have products I use. But yeah, I can't.
How about, do you have a favorite restaurant?
Ooh, it depends where I am. I guess it depends on the mood that I'm into. I think the best restaurant I've ever been in, it's a place out in Burlington, Vermont. It's called Zachary's. Has the best chicken parmesan you can ever ask for. Like, if you're ever in the area of like either New York, like New England in general. I mean, New England is like relatively small, congested. So like, just make a trip over to Burlington, Vermont. Like, check out Zachary's. Like, the environment's great. The food is fantastic. That's probably like top tier, like best restaurant I've ever been to.
Nice. So this song, I don't want to draw any connections that are like not there.
Yeah. But
the opening does sound very similar to another song that you had, Elevate.
Yeah.
Was that on purpose?
It actually was not. That beginning part wasn't there. I put that in last minute. I actually did a lot last minute with this song. Like, this was a very last minute song. Like, originally the song had 4 verses. I took 2 of them away. I added that outro part where like my voice gets deeper, and then the first verse, I took only 4 bars of that verse, and you can hear that in the song, and I just left that in, and then I put the intro in. I took like the main melody of the song, I reversed it, I put that at the beginning, and then I just kind of put like some vocals that I did by accident when I was just recording the verses. But yeah, that was not on purpose. There's like no like secret connection between Elevate and Jack of All Trades. I just thought it sounded good, and like I was afraid someone was gonna notice that.
Yeah, you got it here. No, so if you had to sum up all your work into one word, which is pretty tough, what would that word be?
Terrible. No, I'm kidding. Different.
Yeah.
Nothing like bad or good about it, just different.
Different.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good. So do you listen to your own music much after it's out? I know some artists have trouble like listening to their own work.
I actually kind of don't. I mean, I'm a big firm believer of if you release your music and you don't want to listen to it, clearly it's not good. So you need to kind of like check yourself with your music. But it gets to the point like when I originally make it and I'm mixing it, I love it and I jam to it like all the time. But like it gets to a point where you're mixing and mastering and like listening to it over and over and over that it gets a little old. So after I drop it, I typically kind of just let it be and have other people enjoy it now at this point. But I think the thing that actually changed that was this EP, and I'm not like trying to like get people to go out and be like, this is the best EP I've ever made, this is the best thing I've ever made, you have to go listen to it. But like honestly, I've listened to this new EP like since it's dropped way more than I have any other song or project. Like I feel like just the mixing and just like the structure of this EP is like the best project that I've ever dropped, even better than my album. Like my album was longer and it had like a really like existential like moral story to it, but at the same time something is to be said about like a smaller project you could just jam to in your car, really great sounding, you don't have to like overthink it, and I feel like this EP is like that project for people.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool to know. Well, coming up here, folks, we got the next song in this in the series of tracks here. We got number 4, Peaches. The song's just Peaches, not number 4 Peaches. But yeah, Peaches. Super excited to get this one up. I listened to this one a lot this summer, actually. Hey, folks, we're right back. This is Starling in the studio with me. We're going through his album, Away From Home, EP, Part 2, track by track, getting some good questions in. Welcome back, Jack.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for Peaches here, this is one of our the 4th song in your album here. So do the seasons affect your release schedule at all, like holidays or seasons or anything like that?
Yes and no. Like I think it depends on the song. So like this song, I dropped it like in the middle of the summer, and that was intentional because like it's one of those like summer vibe, just like put it on in the background, just like vibe, like at a party, like at a bonfire, just like vibing. Like it's one of those songs, so like it was intentional, but I don't do that with like every song. Like another example would be like on my last EP with Another Love Song. I dropped that on Valentine's Day, which was like so perfect to just, I was planning on releasing it like early 2019 anyway, and I figured out that Valentine's Day was February, so that worked out. But I don't do it with everything because like sometimes it just doesn't work out, because like I dropped this EP in the winter, and a lot of people don't like drop music in the winter because like, you know, I really don't know why, because like some great albums have dropped in the winter. Like one that I just like think of off the top of my head is For Your Eyes Only by J. Cole. That dropped in the winter, and every single time like it just starts to get cold outside, I'm like, For Your Eyes Only season. So I don't know, but like sometimes it just doesn't work out. Like I would have loved to drop Moonstone like more in the summer as well, but I dropped it more into the fall, and it just like kind of just happened that way, you know.
Cool. So Peaches was one of my songs for the summer. Takes me back, shorts, window down in the car, driving home from camp.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem. But what's been some of your songs of the summer this year?
Man, let me get on my phone real quick. I make like a top 10 albums of the year, like every single year. Like I have like a group chat on Snapchat, and we like just like talk about like a bunch of albums, and like at the end of the year we always make like a top 10. And like actually, just like a little spoiler alert, but I'm gonna be like, one of my friends in that group chat just started a podcast on Apple Music, and he's gonna have me on near the end of the year to talk about top 10 albums of the year. So I'm really excited about that. But let's see what we got. If I could find my list. Okay. A big one for me was, I'm just going to go by albums because like that's just kind of how I categorize stuff. But like a big one was Nothing Happens by Wallows. They're like an alt rock band, and you guys probably know like the main singer. The main singer played the main character in the show 13 Reasons Why. And I actually didn't find out about that until after. Like, I became a fan of, like, the band and their music, and then I went to go follow them on Instagram, and, like, I just saw, like, him on their Instagram, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? But, like, yeah, he's, like, the main singer. Another, like, good, like, summer vibe one, Free Spirit by Khalid. Like, that's, like, top tier. Like, it's just got, like, that summer vibe, and, like, every single track is amazing. Like, my favorite track is Heaven. It's, like, it's near the bottom of the album, but, like, super relatable. Like, if you guys want to know what I'm talking about, just like check out that album. It's like, it's great. Oh yeah, Away From Home EP1 by Jac Starling. I don't know if you guys have like heard that one or not, but like that one's just like, it's a vibe, you know. But let me shout out some of my friends. We got Gone for the Summer by Kavika. Good guy. He makes some great music with a producer named G Pressure. They actually have a studio out in a house, and I've been collaborating with them a little bit more recently. I got a song coming up with him here. I have no clue. Like, you know how I am. Like, I make a song, wait for a year, then drop it. So we'll see when it actually drops. But his album Gone for the Summer is fantastic. It's like one of the better albums that I've heard from like one of my friend artists. Let's see what else. The Falling Man by Duckworth is really great. He's not as known of an artist, but he came up in like the Team Backpack scene. And I honestly wasn't a huge fan of his music until like he dropped this new album. When he dropped the new album, like I listened to it. I was listening to it on like a really long car ride, and like I was just like jamming out because I was so surprised how great it was. Let's see what else. I'll give one more, and then I need to find a good one. Oh, I gotta mention this one. So Blood Harmony by Phineas. If you guys don't know, Phineas is the brother and producer of Billie Eilish, and if you don't know who Billie Eilish is, what rock have you been living under? But his I think he considered it an EP, is so good, and it's actually got my favorite song of the year on it, I Lost a Friend. Not only is that song like so like sonically pleasing, it's super calm, it's just like piano, and then like near the end it gets like a little bit more intense, but also like it's super relatable with just like losing a friend that you feel like you never had. Like if you kind of like want to know what I'm talking about, like go listen to that song. It's so good. Like I think I've got like a list of like 50 more, but I don't want to like list every single one off, so I think I'm going to stop it right there.
Thank you for saving us some time. But
Yeah,
no,
no
those
problem.
are some great recommendations. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite fruit? Is it peaches?
No, I actually don't like peaches, believe it or not. But as I said earlier, I like the word peaches, and that's how I made the song. But my favorite fruit is pineapple. Pineapple is fire, and pineapple on pizza. If you don't like that, what's wrong with you? But pineapple's great. Pineapple by itself is great as well. But I actually hated it when I was a little kid. Like I started to come around like a couple years ago, and pineapple is fire. Like so good.
Yeah. Speaking of pineapple on pizza, I heard you mentioned peaches on pizza.
Yeah. So that happened. So just for fun, I did a couple of videos, and I went to Papa John's. Shout out Papa John's for letting me do this. But like I brought them a peach, and I'm like, can you put this on the pizza? And literally, okay, so like I asked the guy, and I thought he was going to be like surprised. He didn't even flinch. He was like, yeah, I can put it on pizza. Like I feel like that's happened before, but like with some weirder stuff, and he's just like, he's seen some stuff. So like, yeah, he just no flinch, just put it on. And honestly, I'm here to say it wasn't bad. I wouldn't do it again, but like it was pretty good. Huh. Like it melded well. It was weird, but like it worked out.
Interesting. So what is this song specifically about? You know, you center it around the title. What is Peaches about?
I'm not gonna lie. Some of the songs I make, I forget the original meaning behind it.
And
well,
this a lot
is
about
one
a
of those
lonely,
songs.
lonely, lonely boy.
Yeah. So like the original title of the song was gonna be "Lonely Boy Hours," but I turned it to Peaches, and then I added like that bridge where I'm like, "Peaches, peaches, peaches, can't make a mom," like that part. Like I added that like last minute, and then I changed the song to Peaches. But the song, if I have to remember, and I remember like the specific situation I was in life when I made this song, but like I can't remember the exact emotions I was feeling. But it's kind of like not knowing what to do. It was about a romantic relationship I was in at the time, but it could be applied to like any situation of just like not knowing what to do and like feeling like every single decision that you make is the wrong decision, even though like you know there's like the right decision out there, you just can't figure it out. So that's kind of what the song is about.
Yeah, so nice. So how has interacting with your fans or listeners been? I don't know. Some artists don't like to call them fans, but how has that been? And then how do new folks discover, like most commonly discover your music?
That is actually a funny thing that you did just mention. I do actually call my quote unquote fans listeners because I just like believe that we're all human beings and I'm not bigger than you. You just. If you like my music, you like my music, and we could just like vibe as like people, But like, what was the first question?
Yeah. So how is interacting with those with your listeners been?
It's been really cool. I have a really small, however dedicated fan base online, and I interact with them mostly on Instagram. So if you guys want to like hit me up anytime, like honestly, I will respond to literally any DM or comment, etc. Just because of the fact that I have a small but loyal fan base. So if you want to hit me up, like make a track, ask me about a song, feel free. Like I'm not gonna like get mad. Also, if you like recognize me in person, which as weird as it is, that has happened to me before. It's crazy. It's happened only twice, but it was really weird, but really cool. Like if you recognize me in person and you like just want to like talk or like ask about a song, like feel free. Like that's completely fine. But it's cool. Like I like talk to my fans. I try and like interact as much as I can with them, like on like Instagram stories and like Snapchat stories and stuff. But yeah, I really like my fan base. They're super dedicated. A lot of them are like quiet, like they'll listen to my music and then they'll like tell a bunch of people, but they don't like express it online, which is like totally fine. But like I always like I see it in the streams, like people like actually listen, like stay dedicated, and they're like everyone was like one of my listeners, like shout out to you. I appreciate it like a lot because like this is like music is like my life. So like the fact that you're actually taking the time out of your day to like check on my stuff, like I'm blessed. I appreciate it a lot.
So how do folks discover your music? What's the most common way folks discover your music?
I'm not entirely sure, and I really should probably figure that out for like a marketing thing. But like, I mean, I go around, I talk about it a lot. I feel like it's word of mouth mainly. Like I always like have people hit me up and like so and so told me about your music and is like so good, really like it, like that kind of stuff. And I think like word of mouth is like the best way. Like for any business, like it's just like the best way of like spreading the word about like your music. And you got to like connect with people. Like for artists out there who like trying to like get off the ground and like get listeners, the best way is just like networking and like talking to people. And like I understand like when you're in like social situations, you don't want to like be like my music's on SoundCloud, Spotify, check me out, Jac Starling, etc. But like you can do that, but just not as like in your face, just like maybe mention it, but after like having just like talking to the person, like get to know, it's all about just like talking and communicating, just like getting to know people like on a personal basis, and not in like a like I need to like talk to as many people for like my business, just like actually like meeting people, like making some friends, like getting to know them, like just reaching out and like vibing with people,
Nice. Yeah. So what lonely, lonely, lonely boy, you mentioned some toys in this song. What is like your essential toy as a kid?
As a kid, oh man. Wow. I have to like dig up some memories from my childhood.
I was a stuffed animal guy. I had a bunch of stuffed animals.
Yeah.
play like pirates with them. Yeah.
Yeah, I also had a bunch of stuffed animals too, but like it depends like what age are we talking like
let's say our elementary school, early elementary, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. Nerf guns were big.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, Nerf guns. Then we got into airsoft guns, which was a little bit more painful.
Natural progression. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got into real guns. No, I no.
Yeah. Is that where that one was going?
Yeah, I had to go there. But I mean, yeah, Nerf guns, stuffed animals were big. I guess I don't have like this like specific toy that like really like I remember and like highlight in my head. But yeah, like stuffed animals, Nerf guns, the typical like little boy kind of stuff.
Yeah. Nice. Well, that was Peaches. Man, this is the song I've probably listened to the most off the EP. Yeah. But coming up next, we got Nobody Cares. Not that nobody cares, but yeah, that's the name of the title of the song. Coming up here on Jac Starling's EP, just came out, Away From Home. EP Part 2. And so here you go, folks. We're going to come right back after this one and ask some more stellar questions.
Yeet.
We're all back. It's me, Peter Van Batavia, here interviewing Jac Starling for here. We're going through his Away From Home EP Part 2, each song by song. And right now you just heard Nobody Cares, the fifth song on his EP. And yeah, I'm excited to ask you some more questions about it.
Yes.
So this one's a bit more like a little traditional instruments and such.
Mm-hmm.
And I really got some Cranberries vibes from it. But what were your influences specifically with this song?
So I made the song once again like around a year ago because that is how I am.
Yeah, what was your headspace, I guess? Yeah.
Well, my headspace was pretty rough if you listen to the lyrics. I actually made it at the very end of high school. It was a rough situation where like I went through a breakup and then like me and that girl were like a part of this friend group. Then the friend group kind of fell apart. And then I just felt like nobody cared, and then nobody cared about like my feelings, typical sad boy stuff. But and then that same situation has actually happened a couple more times in my life, so like it still applies, which is good. But
good for the
good
art.
For the song, good for the art, anything for art, even emotional wreck and pain. But no, I mean emotional wreck and pain like help make like good music. Like there was one time where like I went through a bad breakup and then I made like legit 30 songs in 2 weeks, and they were actually good songs, so be waiting for those songs because a lot of them haven't dropped yet. But that was like my mindset with like the lyrics. But with the song, this was actually the first like song where it wasn't like rap at all that I completed, because I kept trying to like make like a song where it was just like me singing, and that was back when like you guys can hear that it has heavy auto-tune on it, and I feel like it really fit the song, but also at the time I did need the crutch of auto-tune. Now I've just like practiced and recorded so much to the point where like I'm getting to the point where I don't need auto-tune with singing, which is great because like I feel like it just sounds better. And a lot of people like will judge the hell out of you about like, oh, you need auto-tune to sing. Me personally, I love the sound of auto-tune, but I love it as an effect on your voice instead of like a crutch. So, but yeah, I was just trying to make a non-rap song because that's like I honestly listen to more alternative stuff than I do rap. So like that is definitely influencing my direction that I'm going in music. And that was kind of the start of it.
Nice. So you seem to, you mentioned it, you seem to jump around different genres while maintaining like your like through line sound. So how does genre play into your creation process?
Well, I feel like especially in today's industry, I almost feel like genres are kind of disappearing, which can be good, can be bad. It's probably bad for just like being able to like label like which song is which, and then like it's definitely bad for like labels, like record labels, of being able to like figure out how to market artists. But like for example, Billie Eilish, we talked about her earlier, like she's definitely pop, but like listen to the lyrics, those are some dark like thought-provoking lyrics. So like at the same time it's not pop, So like, what is it? It's alternative. But then alternative has like a specific sound too. So like, I feel like genres are just disappearing, and I kind of like that, especially for my music, because like a lot of people call me a rapper, and I definitely am a rapper. But like a lot of the stuff I've been making, like there's no rap in it at all. I totally forgot the original question, but what?
No, I was just asking how genre plays into your
Oh, yeah.
creative process. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, honestly, I definitely will sit down with like a mindset of like making a certain like sounding song, but then I also let my mind like go wild, and like if something else happens, I roll with it and just like make it how I want to make it. And I try my best to like, whenever I make a song, if I feel like something's too normal about it, I will mess it up and make it sound weird. Like, especially with like stuff I've been making recently that I know you guys can't like hear an example of it, but like the other day, I kid you not, I made a song that has like elements of punk, EDM, rap, like dubstep. It's a mess, but it's cool. So I'm excited for everyone to like check that song out when it drops.
Rad. So do you aim to make your listeners feel like a specific emotion at all?
I don't like set out with that goal. I kind of just make music that emotionally I connect with. And then like I like have a certain feeling, and I assume that like since I have like for example with like Peaches, like that song is definitely like a summer vibe, just like relaxed and like vibing, even though it has like an emotional sense to it. It's definitely like a vibey song, and like that's the vibe that I got when I was making the song, and when I dropped it, I figured out that people felt the same way. So like I just kind of make songs that like emotionally connect with me, and I hope that it does the same thing for other people.
So, if you could make everyone care the same way about that you do about an issue, like nobody cares, what would it be?
There's a lot of things. I'll list off a couple. I talked about this in like the first interview we did. Suicide prevention. That's in like suicide prevention and like mental health like awareness. Like a lot of people, you'd be surprised how like a lot of people really don't know much about that kind of stuff and don't know how to deal with that kind of stuff. Like with themselves, but also like if you have a friend like going through something rough, like a lot of people don't really know how to take in. Like even myself, like there's like the whole entire world is a gray area, so it's hard to like figure out the right thing to do. And I definitely struggle with that kind of stuff too, but like I feel like there's a lot of people that don't, and I feel like there should be like more awareness and like conversation about it, because like it's kind of like a taboo topic. So I feel like it shouldn't be a taboo topic, because like I feel like suicide rates are like the highest they've ever been. I don't have like a certain like actual percentage that I can spew out off the top of my head, but like they definitely are like the highest they've ever been. And like part of that's social media, but like we can't like 100% blame social media, or like we can't 100% like video games or like anything like that. We can't like 100% blame one thing. So I feel like just starting the conversation. So that's one. Another one, which is huge to me, is like taking care of the climate and like climate change, because climate change is real, scientifically proven. We're destroying the climate, and we need to fix it, because like the Amazon's burning down now. California is burning down. They're like fighting the fires out there right now, and like it's because there's so much. I'm gonna sound stupid because like I don't know like like all of the science behind it, but like there's so many like toxic chemicals in the air from like power plants and such, and like it's like it's gonna get to the point where like everything's burning down, or like that might be like an extreme, but like there's other stuff that can happen too, like like everything's melting as well. And honestly, just like don't litter. Don't litter, and like coal is not clean. We need to like figure out better ways of like using like energy. So like that's a big one, like recently, especially since like like California's been burning down like recently, and they're trying to fight the fires. Like that's just been like on my mind, like, and like the animals too. Like if we lose the whole entire Amazon rainforest, not only are we not going to have the amount of oxygen and nitrogen in the air that we need, but also we're going to lose so many species that like do so much for the environment, and then it's just like a domino effect of like everything falling apart, and then eventually there's going to be a zombie apocalypse and we're just all going to die. We're all going to die. Okay. But like seriously though, like we need to like fix the environment. So like that's like something that I really care about a lot.
Nice. So who in your life either motivates you or supports you the most?
Well, my parents are super supportive. I think those are like, they're like they got me grounded. Like they're like the constant in my life. So like love my parents a lot. Like without them, would have lost my mind at this point. What was the other part of it?
Or motivates you, whoever motivates you the most.
I don't think I have a specific like person who motivates me, but I think just like the motivation of being able to like be genuinely happy in life and being able to like do music as a career, and being able to like one day if I have a family, like being able to support that family, and just also being able to like going back to like the whole climate change thing, like if like I blew up and I got rich, like I would put so much into like fixing the environment and like other things with charities and like just trying to like give back to the world that's given me so much.
And then my last question here, what would you consider like blowing up before we move on? Last question before we move on to the next song. What would you consider blowing up?
I think literally physically becoming Kanye West. No, I think that's a tough question. 'Cause like there's like you got to set goals for yourself and set expectations, and like get to once you get to like one goal, you like set like another higher goal. I think all around blowing up is just being able to like, as like a musician, just being able to do this as a career and like not like and be able to live off it and like live the way you want to live. Whatever like level that ends up being, like whether it be like A-list celebrity or like underground, not really known but have like a really core fan base that like supports you. It just really depends. And like by no means am I famous. I'm not even remotely close to being famous, but like we're working on it. I don't really care about the fame. I'm not about the fame. I'm also not about the money. I do need money to be able to support myself, but I'm not about the money. I'm more about just being able to do this as like a career, because this is like the only thing that I've really genuinely loved to do.
Wonderful. Well, that's cool. Inspiring even. But next up, folks, we got the next song on his EP, on Jac Starling's EP here. I'd Like a Side of Coleslaw, and this is featuring
Donatello from Sioux Falls.
Donatello. Pretty cool. We'll get right back to some questions after we play this one. Another little banger here. Enjoy, folks. Okay, folks, we're back with Jac Starling and his Away From Home EP Part 2. That was just I'd Like a Side of Coleslaw.
I would, yes.
Yeah, featuring Donatello, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So what went into might I ask about the title of this song? So where's the title coming from here?
Everyone asks that question, yeah. So, funny story. So, how I got the title, I made the song, and I didn't have a title for it. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to name it the first thing that pops into my head. And that, for some reason, was the first thing that popped into my head. I named the session file that, and it stayed that way.
Nice.
And that's the name of it. But I actually have come up with like an idea of like why it's called that. I'm not going to like lie about it though. That is like how I came up with the title. But like if you think about it, if you listen especially to my verse, the song is actually a love song. It's about like not being comfortable in a relationship and like feeling like nothing is enough. Like, how can I explain this in like a non-egotistical way? Just being in a relationship and feeling like it's just not going right, and it's like it's just not enough to like make you happy, because like you should never like rely on a relationship to be happy, and like that's the only thing that makes you happy. You got to have other things in your life that make you happy, and that's kind of what it's about. He's like, I personally think whenever I go to a restaurant and I order food, unless they give you like coleslaw and fries, I sometimes will substitute fries for coleslaw, and then I feel like coleslaw's great. I love coleslaw, but like I feel like it just wasn't enough food. So it's like I'd like a side of coleslaw is like that example of feeling like whatever you're doing in like this relationship isn't enough. It's like it's just like not enough to make you happy.
Nice.
But
nice.
really, it was just random.
So how does the length of the song get decided?
That depends. A lot of the times when it comes to the length of the song, I make a song and I just keep going with it to like a point. I always like, whenever I make a song, I always check to make sure it doesn't get like super long or if it's like not super short. But like I definitely like to aim for like 3 minutes or like even like a little under 3 minutes. But like whatever the length of the song is that's just how it is, you know?
Nice. So you back yourself up on this track throughout the beginning part. I find I enjoy that, and also you have a nice little part with the pacer test bit in the beginning. So yeah, why don't you just a little bit on those creative choices there? Yeah.
Well, the thing with the pacer test, that was actually that thing. It was a thing, like, a lot of the times when I'm recording in the studio, like, I'll just, like, start the track from the beginning, and I'll just, like, kind of get, like, vocally warmed up, and then I'll, like, if I'm doing a verse, I'll rap the verse, like, fully through, and then I'll maybe do it a couple more times if I feel like I need to or not. It depends. But that was one of those, like, vocal warm-ups. I was like, the fitness pacer test. I was just, like, getting ready to just, like, warming up my vocals. But it was actually on a different song. I can't remember what song or even if I finished that song, but like I thought it was funny, and then I put auto-tune on it, and it sounded really weird, and it's funny, but it's not funny. It's like my kind of like meme, doesn't make any sense kind of humor, but I took it from that. I put it at the beginning of the song. I thought it was funny. I thought it would like grab people's attention, so I'm like, why not?
Nice.
I'll just put it there.
Yeah, so what do if you remember? So, folks, the pacer test was a test we took in our public school gym classes. We'd run back and forth across the gym. It would get faster and faster. We'd have a shorter amount of time to do it. So what, if you remember, what was your highest score on the pacer test?
Funny story, I actually never took the pacer
What?
test. Yeah. I don't really know, because like I found out about it like when I went to high school, because like I actually, for elementary and middle school, I went to a Catholic school. And then in high school, the only high school in my hometown was public. So we all had to like go into the public realm. And I started to hear about, like, I didn't know about the pacer test until I went to high school and I heard about it. And I didn't know what it was until like people had to explain it to me. But I never took the pacer test. And I don't know if it had something to do with the fact that I went to a Catholic school. I feel like it's still like part of like required curriculum, but I never took it. I never took the pacer test.
So describe working with Donatello then. So how did that come about, and how was that?
So I found out about Donatello because like I'm not from Sioux Falls, but he's a relatively well-known artist in Sioux Falls. I found out about him from a really close friend of mine from back home. He ended up hanging out with the guy just for like, he barely even talked to him. He just like hung out with like his friends, and then he was there. And then he told me about his music, so I checked it out. And this was like kind of, I made the song like a year ago, so it was like before, kind of like give or take before I was like really ingrained into like the Fargo music scene. So I didn't know like a bunch of like artists that I could collaborate with, but I wanted another artist on the song. And I felt like he was such a skilled lyricist that he'd be able to like match my vibe or even like get a better verse than me for the song. So I hit him up on I think it was Instagram. I hit him up on Instagram, and we just started talking about like doing a collab, and I sent him the track, and he was like, "This is fire, love the beat." So he laid down a verse pretty quickly. I think it was like within like a week, and he sent me the verse, and I'm not gonna lie, this is like the best rap verse anyone has ever sent me. Like, he murdered the beat, and like I asked people on Instagram who I thought like did the song better justice, and my fans did vote for me more. However, it was like 60-40, and the fact that it was all my fans, listeners, all my listeners voting on it, the fact that they voted, like a lot of them voted against me, like just says something. Like that verse was fire.
Nice. Yeah, no, it was very good. So how much does freestyle affect your creative process?
Well, typically, this song definitely wasn't a freestyle. I wrote this song. The verse that I had on here was actually a combination of a couple of different verses from a couple of different songs that I decided not to like go through with. But I also wrote some like original stuff to the beat as well. Like I'd say like the first 8 bars was written to this beat, and then the rest of it was from other tracks. But freestyle, I typically will freestyle to like figure out my flow for a song. Like I'll make like a beat, and then I'll just like say like random stuff that doesn't make any sense just to kind of get like a vibe and a flow. And then like I'll remember the flow, and then I'll write lyrics to that. But like when it comes to freestyle, that's kind of it. I know there are artists, like even artists that I know, that will literally just get on the mic and just freestyle their whole verse. And please teach me. Like I would love to be able to like do that and like make it sound good. Like, but like I'm not that skilled. I did do. It's not a part of the EP, but I did do like a freestyle, the Full Body Cleanse freestyle. I dropped it. It was the song right before I Like a Side of Coleslaw that I dropped. And that was technically a freestyle, but it also technically wasn't. Basically, I made the beat and I got on the mic and I didn't have anything written to it. However, I had old verses in my head. And I didn't like plan out like which verses I was going to use. I literally just got on the mic and hoped I would be able to pull out enough verses that I had written in the past that I hadn't used out of my head. And I think I did like 5 different verses. And I just put it all together, luckily, in one take on the song.
Nice, nice. Well, folks, we got the last song here on the EP, Earl Grey Lie, coming at you. And then we'll answer some of these last questions, and we'll leave off with Jac Starling here. Excited to get it going, folks. And, folks, we're back to finish off this interview. I'm here with Jac Starling from Jac Starling. He's just put out his Away From Home EP Part 2. We're excited to have him on, answering questions, going through song by song of this new EP. So, Jac, we just finished Earl Grey Lie, Grey with an E. Tell me about like making the title and the headspace of creating this song.
So, when it comes to the title, the original title was Lie, and then I thought it was just kind of a boring title, so then I changed it to Lie, but the I was an exclamation mark. But then I didn't like that for a little while as well. So you know the term white lie, so I decided to make it Earl Grey Lie. And I just think like the title looks good, but also like it kind of plays into the fact that it's not like a black lie, it's not a white lie, it's like in the middle Earl Grey Lie. And I'm not gonna lie, that really has nothing to do with the song. But like I thought
it's a chill song, like the T as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it just kind of, I don't know, it just fit. Like honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I changed the name of the song from like Lie with the exclamation mark. I changed it a week before I dropped the EP. Like I had like sent it to my distributor and everything with like that original like the Lie exclamation mark. But then like I changed it and hoped that like the changes would go in. And they did, and then I had to change it on like everything else that I was like the YouTube stuff and like everything. So like it was like a super last minute change that I don't know. I just felt like was necessary for no reason, but I don't know. I just did it.
Yeah. So why end with this song, Jac?
I feel like it was a good ending spot because like it's kind of similar to Moonstone. It's like Moonstone started it out. And this one ended it. So Moonstone was a lot more of like a happy vibe, and this one was a lot more of a sad vibe. And that kind of just goes into like what the next EP is going to be like. Because like it kind of like is the progression of the Away From Home series. So like the first Away From Home was like deciding I needed to make a change and I needed to move away. And then this one was like the process of moving away. And then the next one, we'll see what that is like. But like it goes into like, I don't want to like spoil like what it's going to sound like, because like this is just like the idea of the EPs. So it's not like this is exactly what it's going to sound like, because like listening to like this whole entire EP, you can tell that like, I'm saying like a lot, my God, that like there's a lot of different sounds, but like Now I can't like get it on my head. Oh my god, bro. This next EP is gonna be a lot more dark, I guess, but like not all completely dark. It's just the idea is gonna be darker. Mm-hmm. So like Moonstone's like happier, Earl Grey Lies leaving, and it's darker. And then also it ended because Moonstone and Earl Grey Lie are actually about the same situation. However, Moonstone was like, give or take like a couple months before Earl Grey Lie. So it's like, you know how Moonstone was about
toxic relationship.
Yeah, like trying to stay out of a toxic relationship. And then instead of me actually looking down at the floor, I decided, I'm just to stare straight up at the moon. And I went into that relationship. And then like Earl Grey Lie was like the end, like, yeah, you regretted that. Good job, bud. Yeah. So it was kind of like a progression, nice. Like my actual like life.
So are you more of a coffee or tea drinker, Jack?
Oh, definitely coffee. Like on the weekends, like I work a lot on the weekends. I'm not gonna lie, I drink probably like upwards of 20 cups on the weekends.
Woof.
It's extremely unhealthy. But yeah, I'm a coffee drinker, and I've gotten to the point where I could drink black coffee as well. I used to not understand those people. Those people were crazy, but like I'm at that point now.
It, yeah. You can join the rest of us. So how does it feel to have this EP out and about finally?
I don't know, cause like I have so much music backed up. It's kind of, it feels good because I'm really excited that it's finally out and people get to listen to it. It feels good, but at the same time, it doesn't feel good. Like I'm the type of person, and it's a big reason why I don't drop music like every single week, despite having like 200 songs that I could drop. I don't really like releasing music. And there's a lot of reasons why, but like it's super stressful. Like you have to do a lot of stuff to get ready, and then there's a lot of stuff you have to do afterwards, and you have to market it. Like despite like the thing, you literally you have to market a song. Unless like you're huge like J. Cole, Travis Scott, whatever, they could just drop a song like out of the blue without mentioning it. Like us, like younger, like less known artists, you have to market the hell out of your songs, or they're not gonna do anything. And I don't like that, because like I feel like I make songs from my heart, and then I have to like figure out ways of promoting it and marketing that, and it's like your heart. And then also you're taking a piece of your heart and you're giving it to people, and sure, like your listeners, they're gonna like it, especially like they'll give you their opinion, but they'll like it. But also like people who are like just like listening to your music, they might rip it apart, and it's like ripping apart your heart. And you have to deal with that as like an artist, like dealing with haters. And like honestly, you get used to it, but at the same time, like it never changes. Whenever like I drop a song, I'm always like, oh my god, are they gonna hate it? What are they gonna feel about it? Is it gonna do like the numbers that I'd like it to do? I love this song so much, I don't want to like over market it. Will they like that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Well, cool. We're wrapping up here, but if you had to choose, I know a lot of artists think of their songs like children. Do you have a favorite out of this bunch?
Yeah, Moonstone is definitely my favorite. I think a close second is Peaches. Those songs just like I could listen to those on repeat all day and they won't get old. And like that's the goal when it comes to making music. Like you need to be able to like listen to it, it's catchy, and then just like be able to play it over and over and then not get old. Like
nice.
That's a big goal when it comes to making music to me.
So what would you want folks to consider when reflecting on your album after listening?
I don't know. I feel like this one, it doesn't really have a concept to it besides like the simple concept of like the Away From Home EPs in like their story. I think reflecting on it, I think just knowing that this EP was a big step in a different direction as like sound like tone wise
sort of genre,
because like my original
hitting
album,
some alternative rather than rap.
Exactly. Like this is the first project that did that. Like my first album was like all rap. Second one, the Away From Home EP 1, it had Crying in the Rain, but that's it. And then this one had like a lot more of just like singing stuff, and that is definitely the direction I'm going in. And I feel like a lot of people will be happy, maybe some people won't be happy, but like everyone, especially like my music friends, everyone's like, you need to like go in this direction. And I'm not like, going in that direction because they're telling me to, like, this is what I want to do. But like everyone's like, you are a way better, like, just like making random but like really cool sounding songs compared to like your rap stuff. And like your rap stuff's great, but you definitely need to like use this like weird genre that you've made for yourself.
Nice. So, we're coming to the end. Jac, we made this journey through your album. I'm super excited that we got to share that with everybody.
Me too.
But,
thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. What's
interviews.
next for Jac Starling? What's coming up? I know you have some mystery stuff going on in Denver. You plugged a little bit for a song maybe coming up, Elevate 2.
Oh, what? I didn't say that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, man. Yeah. Sorry.
What? But when it comes to like future stuff, I remember the last interview that we did. I had like this giant description of like what I'm gonna do, like goals that I have, etc. But like honestly, right now, I have no clue. I have goals that I have set for myself. I'm working on those, but at the end of the day, a lot of stuff changes. And don't be afraid of that, because like change can be good, it can be bad, but like you got to work with what you got. And I have no clue what's gonna happen in like the next year, or like month. So we'll see what happens. We're just gonna go with the flow and do what I got to do.
Yeah. Well, super. Thanks for coming on, Jac. It's always a blessing having you on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah. No problem.